Welcome back to Return to Inner Light. I am Hui Guang, and I am so grateful you've chosen to spend this moment with me. In a world full of noise and distraction, you've made a beautiful choice to pause, to breathe, and to turn inward. Whether you are joining us for the first time or returning as an old friend, know that this space is yours, a sanctuary for your soul. Today, let's walk together on this path of ancient wisdom and timeless peace. Everyone is holding on to something. We hold on to past regrets, hold on to worries about the future, hold on to what others think of us, hold on to people and things that no longer belong to us. We think the tighter we hold on, the safer we are. But the truth is the opposite. The tighter you hold on, the more you lose. I was also someone who held on tight and wouldn't let go. Back then, I was a corporate executive. Every day I wore suits and ties, going in and out of high-end office buildings. In others' eyes, I had everything: career, status, income, a life others envied. But only I knew how exhausted I was inside. I was obsessed with performance, obsessed with others' approval, obsessed with proving my worth. I thought if I just worked a little harder, succeeded a little more, I would be happy. Then, life's crisis came. That was the darkest moment of my life. I lost what I thought was most important. My world collapsed. I lay in bed, unable to sleep all night, asking myself over and over, why me? What did I do wrong? This isn't fair. Right at that most desperate moment, I encountered Buddhism. Not in a temple, not in some sacred ceremony, but in a book a friend casually handed to me. One line in the book struck me: the root of suffering is not life itself, but our attachment to life. In that moment, I suddenly understood. My pain wasn't because I lost something, but because I had been holding tightly onto things that never belonged to me in the first place. From then on, I began a long journey of spiritual practice. I learned to let go, learned to accept, learned to make peace with life. Today, I want to share with you the 10 methods Buddha taught me for letting go of attachments. This isn't about giving up on life, isn't about becoming cold and indifferent, but about helping you loosen that tightly clenched fist, letting the river of life flow naturally. When you learn to let go, you won't lose anything. On the contrary, you'll gain something you never truly had before: freedom. The first step to letting go is seeing clearly what you are holding on to. Many people suffer their whole lives, yet never truly see the source of their suffering. They think others have hurt them, that fate has treated them unfairly, that the world is unjust to them. But Buddha said suffering isn't out there, suffering is in your heart. There is a story. A young man came before Buddha, his face full of anger. He said, "World-honored one, my neighbor insulted me. I cannot forgive him. Every time I think of what he said, I can't sleep all night." Buddha asked him, "When did he insult you?" The young man said, 3 years ago. Buddha smiled gently. "He insulted you once, yet you've repeated it 1,000 times in your heart. Who exactly is hurting you?" The young man was stunned. This is the true face of attachment. Other people's words have long scattered in the wind, but you carved them into your heart, replaying them day and night. Others have long forgotten that incident, but you are still losing sleep over it. Getting angry, shedding tears, obsession is like a red-hot coal. You grip it tightly, wanting to throw it at someone else. But the one getting burned is always your own hand. I used to be like this too. When I was at the lowest point in my life, my heart was filled with resentment. I resented those I thought had betrayed me, resented the things I thought were unfair. But later I realized those people had long moved on with their lives, and only I was still replaying those painful scenes over and over in the middle of the night. Who was I punishing? Only myself. Recognizing obsession is the beginning of letting go. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to? Is this thought helping me or tormenting me? If it only brings pain, why am I still clinging to it? When you start asking yourself this, awakening has already begun. You don't need to let go right away, you just need to see it first. Seeing is the beginning of change. The root of obsession is our unwillingness to accept one fact. Everything changes. We want happiness to last forever, want our loved ones to always be by our side, want youth to never fade, want success to never disappear. But life doesn't work that way. The Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. This isn't pessimism, this is the most fundamental truth of the universe. Flowers will wither, people will grow old, relationships will change, all things with form will eventually fade away. This isn't a curse, this is nature. There was a mother whose child tragically died young. She held her child, desperately seeking doctors everywhere, hoping someone could bring her child back to life. Finally, she came before the Buddha. The Buddha said, I can help you, but you need to first go to the village and find a household that has never experienced losing a loved one and ask them for a mustard seed. The mother set off full of hope. She knocked on door after door, but every household told her, we have lost a father, a mother, a child, a brother. She went through the entire village but couldn't find a single household that hadn't experienced loss. When she returned to the Buddha, she finally understood that loss was not her fate alone, but a shared experience of all life. She let go of her obsession and also let go of the burden in her heart. Accepting impermanence is not giving up, but making peace with life. When you stop fighting change, change stops hurting you. When you accept that loss is part of life, loss no longer breaks you down. When I was going through a life crisis, the most painful thing wasn't the loss itself, but me constantly asking, why did this happen? Why me? Later I understood that asking why has no answer. Life is just like this, with ups and downs, gains and losses. When I accepted this, my heart suddenly felt lighter. Impermanence is not an enemy. It teaches us to cherish the present, teaches us to hold gently rather than grip tightly. When you befriend impermanence, you become free. Another face of obsession is us constantly arguing with reality. Things shouldn't be this way. He shouldn't treat me like this. I shouldn't have failed. This isn't fair. We repeat these words over and over in our minds as if repeating them enough times will change reality. But reality never cares about our protests. What has happened has already happened. You can dislike it, but you can't change it. The only thing you can change is your relationship with it. The Buddha once told a parable. A man was shot by an arrow. Instead of pulling out the arrow and treating the wound first, he started asking questions. Who shot this arrow? Why did he shoot me? What material is this arrow made of? Is this fair? While he was asking these questions, his wound kept getting worse. This is what we're doing when we argue with reality. The pain has already happened, but instead of healing it, we keep asking why. Keep protesting the unfairness. Keep replaying the scene that hurt us. In this process, the wound doesn't heal, it only gets deeper. Letting go means stopping the argument. It is not saying that thing was right, not saying that person wasn't wrong, but saying, I will no longer use my life to fight against a fact. Acceptance is not approval. Acceptance is setting yourself free. When you stop arguing with reality, your energy is no longer being drained. You can use that energy for things that truly matter. Healing, growing, moving forward. Making peace with reality is the greatest gift you can give yourself. We have too many shoulds in our hearts. I should be more successful. My child should be more obedient. My partner should understand me better. At this age, I should have already achieved this or that. These shoulds are like invisible rulers. We use them to measure ourselves, measure others, measure life. And then we find that nothing is ever good enough. Schuld is probably the most cunning disguise of obsession. It looks like a standard, like a pursuit, like ambition. But in reality, it is a line you can never reach, keeping you forever living in the anxiety of not being enough. The Buddha never said Schuld. What he said was, as it is, the way things originally are. Your child isn't supposed to become a certain kind of person. He is who he originally is. Your partner isn't supposed to treat you a certain way. He is who he originally is. You yourself aren't supposed to achieve certain accomplishments. You are who you originally are. This isn't giving up on growth, but letting go of judgment. When you let go of shuld, you can see as it is. You can see who your child really is, not who you expect them to be. You can see what your partner truly gives, not what you demand them to give. You can see your own true value, not the value society defines. Shuld creates distance. As it is, creates connection. Tree replacing, my child can be more obedient, or can have their own thoughts. My partner can understand me better, or can have their limitations. When shuld becomes can, tension becomes relaxation, and obsession becomes acceptance. Let go of shuld, and you can embrace as it is. Have you noticed that your mind is constantly generating thoughts without stopping for a moment? He doesn't like me. I am not good enough. Things will definitely get worse. I'll never be happy. These thoughts come and go, like clouds in the sky. But we often make a mistake. We mistake the clouds for the sky. We think that what we believe is true. I feel like he doesn't like me, so he must. I feel like I am not good enough, so I must not be good enough. But thoughts are just thoughts, not facts. The Buddha taught us that the mind is like a mirror, and thoughts are like reflections in the mirror. Reflections come and go, but the mirror remains clear. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes the thoughts. There is a Zen story. A monk asked the Zen master how to not be troubled by worries. The Zen master said, "Have you ever seen the sky covered by clouds?" The monk said, "Yes." The Zen master said, "Troubling thoughts are like clouds. They come and they go. But your true mind is like the sky, never truly obscured." Next time a painful thought arises, try saying this to yourself. This is a thought, not a fact. Don't suppress it, don't fight it. Just watch it, like watching a cloud drift across the sky. You'll find that when you stop clinging to it, it naturally fades away. Thoughts come and go, but you are always here. We do so many things just to get approval from others. We work hard, hoping for the boss's approval. We dress ourselves up, hoping for others' approval. We showcase our lives on social media, hoping for likes and approval. We even change our own thoughts just to get others' approval. The craving for approval is one of the most hidden attachments. It makes us live in the eyes of others rather than in our own lives. It makes our happiness depend on others' evaluations rather than on the peace within our hearts. The Buddha said, "Do not rejoice because of others' praise. Do not be dejected because of others' criticism." Why? Because both praise and criticism are impermanent. Those who praise you today may criticize you tomorrow. Those who criticize you today may praise you tomorrow. If your heart rises and falls with these voices, you will never have a single day of peace. There is a story. When the Buddha was alive, a man publicly insulted him. The Buddha listened quietly, then asked, "If someone gives you a gift and you don't accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man said, "Of course it belongs to the one who gave the gift." The Buddha said, "Likewise, your insults I do not accept. They still belong to you." This is the wisdom of letting go of the craving for approval. Others' praise you can be grateful for, but need not cling to. Others' criticism you can take as reference, but need not fall apart. Your value does not depend on how others see you, but on how you see yourself. When you no longer seek approval from outside, you will find that what you have been searching for has always been in your heart. The light within does not need external applause to prove itself. One of the heaviest forms of attachment is the inability to forgive. Unable to forgive those who have hurt us, unable to forgive those who have let us down, unable to forgive those who have disappointed us. We think that not forgiving is a punishment, a revenge against that person. But the truth is, not forgiving is only punishing yourself. Buddha said, resentment is like drinking something bitter yourself, yet expecting others to suffer. The person who hurt you may have long forgotten about it, may be living happily somewhere. But you are still losing sleep over it, still angry at that person, still replaying that painful scene over and over again. Who is suffering? Only you. Forgiveness doesn't mean what that person did was right. Forgiveness doesn't mean you have to make up with that person. Forgiveness means I won't let this thing occupy my life anymore. An old monk and a young monk were traveling together. They came to a river and saw a young woman who couldn't cross. Without a word, the old monk carried the woman across the river, then put her down and continued on his way. The young monk was sullen the whole way. After walking for several hours, he finally couldn't help but say, "Master, aren't we monks forbidden from touching women? How could you carry her across the river?" The old monk smiled slightly. "I put her down long ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This is the true meaning of forgiveness. That thing is already past. That person is already gone, but you are still carrying him in your heart, carrying that thing, carrying that resentment. Let him go. Not for him, but for yourself. Forgiveness is a process, not a moment. You don't need to force yourself to forgive immediately, but you can start asking yourself, how much longer do I want to carry this person? How much longer do I want to let this thing torment me? The day you are ready to let go, you'll find that the one set free isn't that person, but yourself. Most of our suffering doesn't come from this present moment, but from the stories in our heads, stories about the past. If only I had done this or that. Stories about the future. What if this or that happens? Stories about ourselves. I am this kind of person. These stories aren't life. The present moment is. The Buddha said, the past mind cannot be grasped. The future mind cannot be grasped. The present mind cannot be grasped. The past has already vanished. You can't go back and change it. The future hasn't arrived yet. You can't experience it in advance. The only thing you truly have is this very... Someone asked a Zen master, what is enlightenment? The Zen master said, when eating, eat, when sleeping, sleep. The person said in confusion, isn't that what everyone does? The Zen master said, no. Most people think about work when eating, think about worries when sleeping. Their bodies are here, but their minds are elsewhere. This is the state most of us are in. We eat with our family, but our minds are thinking about work. We're at work, but our minds are worrying about the kids. We lie in bed, but our brains are replaying regrets from 10 years ago. We've never truly lived in the present. We've always lived in the stories of our minds. Letting go of attachments. The most direct way is to return to the present. When you find yourself falling into past regrets or future worries again, ask yourself, where am I right now? What am I doing right now? What can I feel right now? Feel your breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the sunlight or breeze of this moment. When you return to the present moment, the story quiets down. The present has no regrets because the past isn't here. The present has no worries because the future isn't here. The present has only life itself, simple, complete, peaceful. Living in the present is the most powerful practice for letting go of attachments. Zone of Buddha's most profound teachings is emptiness. Many people misunderstand emptiness, thinking it means nothing exists, means nothingness, means negativity. But emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness is freedom. Emptiness means that all things have no fixed, unchanging essence. What you think is solid is actually constantly changing. What you think is eternal is actually just a temporary combination, including yourself. You think I is a fixed thing with a fixed personality, fixed identity, fixed story. But if you look closely, you'll find that I is also constantly changing. Are you from 10 years ago and you now the same person? Your body has changed, your thoughts have changed, your feelings have changed. Where exactly is that? When you understand emptiness, attachment loses its foundation. You cling to a relationship, but that relationship keeps changing. You cling to an identity, but that identity is just a temporary label. You cling to a feeling, but that feeling comes and goes. What you are clinging to was never fixed from the beginning. This isn't meant to make you feel despair, but to make you feel liberation. If everything is changing, then suffering will also change. If everything is temporary, then hardship is also temporary. If I is not fixed, then I can grow, can change, can transcend. Emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness is infinite possibility. When you stop clinging to how things should be, you can accept them as they are. When you stop clinging to who I should be, you can become who you were always meant to be. Understanding emptiness is the deepest form of letting go. The highest state of letting go of attachment is not indifference, not heartlessness, but compassion. When you let go of attachment to yourself, you can truly see the suffering of others. When you let go of attachment to outcomes, you can truly give without expecting anything in return. When you let go of attachment to the self, you can connect with all living beings. Compassion is the antidote to attachment. Attachment makes us contract. Compassion makes us expand. Attachment makes us see only ourselves. Compassion makes us see all beings. Attachment makes us grasp. Compassion makes us give. The Buddha said, treat all living beings with compassion, like a mother protecting her only child. This isn't asking you to become a saint, but to expand your heart. When you are compassionate toward yourself, you can forgive your own imperfections. When you are compassionate toward others, you can understand their limitations. When you are compassionate toward life, you can accept its impermanence. Compassion is not weakness. Compassion is the greatest strength. There is a story. A practitioner, the Buddha said, when your heart is filled with compassion, attachments will naturally dissolve. Just as when the sun rises, darkness naturally fades away. Compassion is light. Attachment is darkness. You don't need to fight the darkness. You just need to light up the light. Starting today, try to be a little more compassionate with yourself. Don't blame yourself for still having attachments. Don't deny yourself for still feeling pain. Letting go is a process, not a destination. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, every time you choose understanding over complaint, every time you choose to let go instead of holding tight, you are moving toward freedom. We've come a long way exploring the 10 methods Buddha taught us for letting go of attachments. Let me recap them for you. First, recognize attachment for what it truly is. Seeing is the beginning of change. Second, accept impermanence. Make friends with change instead of enemies. Third, stop arguing with reality. Accept what has already happened and use your energy to move forward. Let go of attachment to how things should be. Embrace what is rather than what should be. Don't mistake thoughts for facts. You are not your thoughts. Let go of the craving for approval. Your worth doesn't depend on how others see you. Forgive. This is liberation for yourself, not a favor to others. Live in the present moment. Let go of past stories. Let go of future worries. Ninth, understand the wisdom of emptiness. Everything changes, including suffering. 10th, cultivate compassion. Compassion is the antidote to attachment, the ultimate form of letting go. Letting go is not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. You don't need to do all of this perfectly. You just need to choose again and again. Choose to loosen that tight grip. Choose to let life flow naturally. Choose to return to that light within you. The Buddha said, you yourself must make the effort. The Buddha only points out the way, this path. I have already pointed out for you, but the one who walks this path must be you yourself. Every letting go is a victory. Every moment of awakening accumulates. You don't need to wait until you've completely let go to find peace. In every moment of letting go, peace is already there. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha let go of all attachments under the Bodhi tree and attained ultimate liberation. Today, you don't need to become the Buddha. You only need to, little by little in your life, loosen those ropes that bind you. Let go of the past, and you can embrace the present. Let go of fear, and you can welcome the future. Let go of attachment, and you can return to freedom. This is the wisdom the Buddha taught us. This is the journey of returning to the inner light. Finally, I want to ask you a question right now. What is the one thing in your heart that you most want to let go of? You don't need to answer me. You only need to answer yourself honestly. Then gently try to loosen that grip. You will find that what you always thought you would lose never truly belonged to you. And the light you've been searching for has never left you. It has always been there waiting for you to come back. I am Huiguang. Thank you for listening. May you let go of attachment and return to your inner light. May you be free. May you be peaceful. May you be joyful.